Hey guys, welcome back to the channel with me, Lyle. I am excited to have you with me today. In today's video, we are going to be talking about savings accounts and why you might need to consider switching accounts today. I'll also be sharing a lesson that I learned by not switching savings accounts sooner. So let's hop on straight into today's video. So first of all, let's talk about savings accounts. If you find yourself in the United States, there's primarily two types. You get the traditional savings account, which you could go down to your local credit union or local bank or even one of the larger banks, national banks, and you could give them your money and they'll give you something back in terms of interest. Alternatively, there's a growing rise in popularity in online banking accounts or savings accounts. So they're generally able to give you a better interest rate compared to the local institution. And one of the main reasons for that is because it's online, it's not your typical brick and mortar corporation. So they've got less overhead, so less cost that they need to incur. And as a result of that, they can offer you a better interest rate. At this point in time, you might be saying, hey, I don't want to change my savings account. I've been with this bank for X amount of years. I've been with them since I've been in school. I've developed a relationship with them. And I'm a bit hesitant to take all my money, my hard-earned money, and to put it into another institution that I don't really know. Well, stick with me, and maybe what I'm going to share with you will help you in the long run. Okay? So let's ask you this question. Do you know what your current bank that you're saving with offers you in terms of interest? Well, I pondered upon this question a couple of years ago, and I was like, yeah, I know that, but I actually didn't. And when I did some research, I noticed, and this is the bank account that I use in the States at the time, I was getting 0.00, I think 3% at the time, so pretty much nothing. But they were in turn taking the money that I was giving them and they were lending it out to people and to corporations at a way higher rate, maybe 14 to 20%. So they were making lots of money off the money that I was giving them. And that didn't make sense to me. What I then did was I went online and I started researching banks, online banks. And at the time, inflation in the States was around 2%. I found a bank that would offer me close to 2%. And I did research on them. I identified that they had a solid reputation. They'd been around for a decent length of time, that there was insurance on the money that I was putting in. I think that's very important to consider that your money's safe and that you're not just going to go online and identify the organization that's going to give you the highest interest rate, because at the end of the day, if anything happens to that organization, can you get your money back? So just make sure that you do proper research, and I'll share a few tips with regards to where you can go when you conduct your research. Okay, so we switched banks, and as an example, I remember in the one bank at the time we had $1,000, the one giving us the 0.003% in that savings account, and then we just tested this new bank out and put $100 in, and we were actually making more in terms of interest income of the one with $100 compared to $1,000 just because of the rate that we were given. And I know at the times that we live in at the moment, it's 2021 at the time of recording this video, inflation is rising in lots of places, so banks aren't maybe giving us the best interest rates, but it's still better to earn whether it's a 2% compared to a 0.003%, because that little difference over there, depending on how much money you have saved, could mean the difference between you getting out of debt quicker. It could mean the difference between you funding a goal, like going to be able to travel for a couple of weeks in Europe or some other place. So just by making smart money decisions, you could unlock income to be able to do the things that you've desired to do. So just think about that again, guys. What are you getting now? What could you be getting? And I'm not saying that I'm going to recommend bank A over bank B. I'm saying you go and do your research. If you find yourself in the United States, there's two websites that I primarily use, and I'll show that to you real quickly. The first one is going to be bankrate.com, and if we hop on over here, they've got, so it's bankrate.com. If you come over to banking over here, you can compare different savings accounts over here. Let's go into that real quick. And I just wanted to look at savings accounts. Normally on top over here, they have like the sponsored post. So this doesn't necessarily mean that these are the best ones, but you can scroll down through this site and you can see a whole host of different accounts over here. You can put your zip code in over there, how much you want to put down as a deposit, and you can then go ahead and you can search and identify what the best rate is. There's lots of information on the site with regards to, let's see, there's Ally offering 0.5% at the moment, no ATM fees, no ATM access, I apologize. But you can withdraw money from them and they actually will replenish what you've spent up into a certain limit. You've got Citibank over here offering you 0.5% APY, Marcus 0.5%. Again, 0.5%, not the best, but better than the banking institutions that are offering 0.0003%. And if you spend some time in this on this particular website, this is September 2021, these are the ones offering the best rates. Over here, anything from 0.55% all the way down to 0.4%. And there's other banking institutions on this particular site. So if you spend some time in this particular site, you'll identify what they have to offer. And then another website over here is NerdWallet, which I like to use. And if we come to the NerdWallet and we go down to banking, over here it talks about how to open up a bank account, but how much should you save? And let's click on that real quick. There's some nice articles over here with regards to how much to save and also where to save. So it's lots of good information over here. It talks about different rates over here. So spend some time in these websites. I'm not actually going into these websites in depth, but these are two that I use. If you find yourself in South Africa, go on to Google, type in ABSA, type in FNB, type in Standard Bank, and identify how much you are currently getting in terms of interest. And maybe there's one of those other banks that can offer you a better rate than what you are actually getting now. Make sure to do your research. Also, just find out, guys, with the bank, whether it's an online bank or a local bank, what fees they are charging. Are there ATM fees? Do they require a minimum deposit? Can you have access to them 24 hours a day? Some of them only have availability from 8 till 5 in the day. Others have 24-hour call center. So these are the things that I would be looking at. Can I get a savings account with a card where I can go and make withdrawals if I need money? Can I have a checking account at the same bank? Consider those things. So don't just switch because you can get a higher interest rate. Look at the safety of your cash. Is it insured if something were to happen to the bank or the institution? What are the fees? Can you withdraw cash at any point in time? Access to them. Can you call them? If you feel more comfortable having a local bank that you can go into, compare your local bank in your particular region to the larger ones, and then consider whether you get the best deal in terms of interest based on the amount that you're going to save there. So I hope that this helped you guys. Again, if the information that I'm sharing in this channel is helpful to you, then consider subscribing. Click on the notification button so you'll be notified when I next put out a video. But share this video because the aim is to help you to take control of the personal finances that God has entrusted unto you and to help you to walk in a position of financial freedom. Comment below if you knew what your interest rate was that you were getting. If you did not, I don't want you to say what you are getting, but just say yes or no. And if you didn't know, what action are you going to take to get it? If you're going to consider changing bank accounts once you've done your research, let us know too. Because at the end of the day, we need to be good stewards of the resources that God has entrusted unto us so that we can reach more people with the good news. Have a wonderful day, guys, and God bless. Bye.